Hello students, so today we will be starting with a new topic. The new topic name is the origin and evolution of the earth. So the origin and evolution of the earth chapter is present in the class 11 book of physical geography, and here we will be discussing what are the origins of the earth and how our earth has been created. So let us discuss. Now, during that time, there were different philosophers who were giving the early theories of the earth. Now, how our earth has been created, most of the scientists and philosophers were curious. So, as a result, during that time, the German philosopher Immanuel Kant, you see here, Immanuel Kant. Immanuel Kant first discovered about the nebular hypothesis, but the nebular hypothesis was revised in the year 1796 by mathematician Laplace. Mathematician Laplace then again revised the nebular hypothesis. From the nebular hypothesis only we have understood the Big Bang theory. The hypothesis considered that the planets were formed out of cloud material with a youthful sun which was slowly rotating. Now, the nebular hypothesis, most of the scientists thought that the planets, the stars were being created from the formation of the cloud or from the cloud-like material. From the cloud-like material only, it has been reacted with the youthful sun, and from the youthful sun, it was being rotating. Now, later in 1900, Chamberlain and Moulton, here again comes in 1900, Chamberlain and Moulton. As I have told you earlier that most of the planets and the stars has been formed from the cloud-like material, but from the other hand, in the year 1900, Chamberlain and Moulton considered a wandering star approach. As a result, cigar-shaped extension of the material was separated from the solar surface. Passing star moved away. Now, here you see Chamberlain and Moulton. Chamberlain and Moulton discovered a wandering star. He told that the wandering star actually approached the sun. It approached the sun and the cigar-shaped extension separated from the solar surface. As passing star moved away, the material separated from the solar surface continued to revolve around the sun and it slowly condensed into the planet. This is another harsh explanation being given by Chamberlain and Moulton. You see, Chamberlain and Moulton here gave a theory regarding the sun, that the sun actually created the other planets. Here you see, in the year 1950, Otto Schmidt in Russia and Carl Weizsäcker in Germany revised the nebular hypothesis. They considered the sun was surrounded by solar nebula containing mostly the hydrogen and helium along with what may be called as the dust. Now, they considered the sun. Here, they considered the sun. What we say, the star sun. Yes. They have considered the sun and the solar nebula containing mostly the hydrogen and the helium particles. Now, we know that the sun is made of hydrogen and helium. As a result, those hydrogen and helium are considered to be as dust. The friction and the collision of the particles, on the sun led to the formation of this cloud, and the planets formed through the process of accretion. Now you see, these are the different theories being given by different philosophers and different scientists. First, we have understood about the nebular hypothesis was given by the mathematician Laplace, and second, here, according to the hypothesis, all the planets and the stars are being created from the cloud-like material. From the cloud-like material, those planets and stars were being created. And again in 1900, Chamberlain and Moulton regarded the wandering star. As a result, the cigar-shaped extension of the material was separated from the solar surface. Passing star moved away. The material separated from the solar surface continued to revolve around the sun and it slowly condensed into the planets. Now, this is another type of theory where the cigar shape was being separated from the solar surface, and those solar surface has considered the material separated to revolve around the sun and condense into the planet. You see, this is one of the topic which is very much confusing, but here you see in 1950 Otto Schmidt and in Russia and Carl Weizsäcker in Germany revised the nebular hypothesis. Now again the nebular hypothesis was being discussed. Again, it has been considered. Now they are coming into the proper theory regarding the sun. You see, we all know that the sun is made of hydrogen and helium. and those hydrogen and helium are considered to be as dust, and as a result of friction and collision of the particles led to the formation of the disk cloud, and the planets were formed through the process of accretion. The process of accretion means friction, which means it is considered to be the friction or force. This is known as the process of accretion. You see, these are the earlier theories which were given by different philosophers and scientists. Now, you see, this picture I have given regarding the Big Bang theory, how the Big Bang theory looks like. Now you see, no one knows that there was really the Big Bang theory or not, but this is the Big Bang theory which has been provided by the scientists, that the Big Bang theory likely to be like this. This is the picture of the Big Bang theory. Now, the stages of the Big Bang theory. Now we will be coming from the stages of the Big Bang theory. Now, you see, we have understood about the nebular hypothesis. Now we will be understanding that from nebular hypothesis, how the Big Bang theory has been discussed. The most popular argument regarding the origin of the universe is the Big Bang theory. It is called expanding universe hypothesis. You see, let me tell you what do you mean by the Big Bang theory. Our universe is expanding. According to the Big Bang theory, it has been proven that our universe is expanding. Day by day, second by second, our universe is expanding. So, the most popular regarding the origin of the universe is the Big Bang theory. The Big Bang theory is not only about the origin of the Earth, it is the origin of the entire universe. Edwin Hubble in the year 1920 provided the evidence of the Big Bang theory. As time passes, galaxies move further and further. You see, there are different kinds of galaxies, and in every galaxy there will be stars and the planets. Now, one galaxy is moving far apart from the other galaxy, which means the universe is being expanded. Just give an example of an inflated balloon. If we inflate a balloon more, the balloon will expand. So as a result, our universe is expanding in that way. Here you see, this is one of the important points. Edwin Hubble in 1920 discovered that the universe is expanding, and this expansion of the universe is a part of the Big Bang theory. Now, here the Big Bang theory considers the following stages. In the beginning, all matter forming the universe existed in one place in the form of a tiny ball with unimaginable small volume, infinite temperature, and infinite density. Now, in the beginning, you see all matter forming the universe existed in one place in the form of a tiny ball with an unimaginable small volume, infinite temperature, and infinite density. Now there was a small tiny ball. The small tiny ball considers to be a very having infinite density and infinite temperature. This is the first stage. Here we will be understanding from the first stage. The first stage discuss about the tiny ball. The tiny ball with infinite temperature and infinite density. Then what happens to that tiny ball? At the Big Bang, the tiny ball exploded violently. As the tiny ball exploded violently, this led to a huge expansion, and it is now generally accepted as the event of the Big Bang took place 13.7 billion years ago. Now, that tiny ball, which has infinite density and infinite temperature, was being exploded, and it has been exploded 13.7 million years ago, and this has led to the Big Bang. As it grew, some energy was converted into matter. There was particularly rapid expansion with fractions of a second after the bang. Now, as there was an explosion. As a result, some of the energy was converted into a matter. Now, some of the energy converted into matter, and those energy slowly formed into planets and the stars. Now you see, within the first 3 minutes from the Big Bang event, the first atom began to form. Now, from the first 3 seconds of the Big Bang theory, one atom started to form. Here comes one atom. The first atom started to form. And then within 300,000 years from the Big Bang, temperature dropped to 4,500 K and gave rise to the atomic matter. Now, as you see, as one atom started to produce, another atom started to create. Now, after 300,000 years, what had happened? The temperature dropped. The temperature dropped to 4,500 Kelvin. it has dropped to 4500 Kelvin and gave rise to atomic matter, and the universe became transparent. The expansion of the universe means increase in space between galaxies. Now, what do you mean by the expansion of the universe? It means increase in space between the galaxies, which means if there is increase in space between the galaxies, this is termed to be the Big Bang theory or the expansion of the universe. You see, in an easy language, Big Bang theory also means the expansion of the universe. The Big Bang theory itself has created that what do you mean by the expanding universe. So let me repeat you again regarding the first stage. The first stage refers to a tiny ball with infinite temperature and infinite density. And in the second stage, the tiny ball exploded. The tiny ball exploded 13.7 billion years ago, and as a result, it had converted into a matter. And when it converted into a matter, slowly, it turned itself into an atom. Slowly, more atoms started to create. And in the third stage, after 300 and 1000 years, the temperature dropped to 4500 Kelvin, and as a result, the universe became transparent. The universe became transparent and it started to expand the universe, and this expansion of the universe is considered to be the Big Bang theory. You see, the Big Bang theory is little bit critical, but you will be understanding more regarding the theories of the Big Bang theory. Now, you see, this is one of the picture of the Big Bang theory. First, there has been an explosion. You see, first, there has been an explosion. As there has been an explosion, slowly, atoms started to create. One atom created and millions of atoms started to create. And then from this, the first stars were being created. The first stars were being created because the temperature has dropped. The temperature has dropped to 4500 Kelvin, and slowly the other planets were also being created. But from these other planets, the galaxies are also being created, and now the galaxies are moving far apart. The galaxies are moving far apart. And this is also known as the expansion theory or the expanding of the universe theory. I hope you have understood regarding the Big Bang theory. You see, here all the three stages is being mentioned in one picture. Now, the star formation. We will be understanding about the star formation. The distribution of matter and energy was not even in the early universe. This initial density differences gave rise to difference in gravitational forces and caused the matter to get drawn together. Now you see how the star is being formed. Due to the distribution of matter and the energy, which was not even in the early universe, this initial density gave rise to the difference in the gravitational force. Now here comes the distribution of the matter and the energy. First comes the distribution of the matter and the energy, and then comes the density difference. This density difference gave rise to the difference in the gravitational force. As the gravitational force differentiated, slowly it caused the other matter to drawn together. Now you see, here the gravitational forces started to combine. The gravitational forces is increasing. As a result, it caused the matter to attract each other or to draw together with each other. This formed the base for the development of galaxies. Now, you see, as there was the distribution of the matter and the energy, slowly there was the difference in the gravitational force. As a result, this has also formed the base for the development of the galaxy. Now, the basis for the development of the galaxy has also taken an important form. A galaxy contains a large number of stars. Galaxies spread over vast distances that are measured in thousands of light years. Now, as a galaxy has a number of stars, and those galaxies were spread in vast distances. They were being spread in vast distances, and that are measured in the thousands of light years. You see, this galaxy is far away from the other galaxy. This measurement is being formed by the light years. The light years actually measure the distance between the two galaxies. Third comes the diameter of the individual galaxy range from 80,000 to 1,50,000 light years. Now, The diameter of the individual galaxies. The diameter of the individual galaxies range from 80,000 to 150 light years. A galaxy is to form by accumulation of hydrogen gas in the form of a large ball called nebula. Now, in the galaxy, you see the galaxy started to accumulate. The galaxy starts to form by the accumulation of the hydrogen gas. I'm so sorry regarding the galaxy now. How the galaxy has been formed? As there is more accumulation of the hydrogen gas, slowly the galaxies has been created, and those large cloud which has been formed by the accumulation of the hydrogen gas, it is termed as the nebula. It is termed as the nebula. Now, eventually growing nebula develops localized clumps of gas. This clump continue to grow into even denser gaseous body, giving rise to formation of stars. Now, growing nebula. You see, when nebula grows, it gives localized clumps of gases. This nebula gives localized clumps of gases, and these clumps continue to grow even in denser gaseous bodies, giving rise to formation of stars. Now, these clumps forms into denser gaseous matter or bodies, giving rise to more formation of the stars. The formation of stars is believed to have taken place 5 to 6 billion years. Now, how the formation of stars have been formed and how the stars were being formed. You see, 5 to 6 billion years before the stars were being formed, and as a result, you see light year. We will be discussing about the light year, but before that, let me explain you again regarding the star formation. Now you see, the distribution of matter and energy was not even in the early universe. This initial density differences gave rise to difference in the gravitational forces. Now, when there is differences in the matter and the energy, this has also started differences in the gravitational forces, and as a result, it has drawn all the matter together. This also formed the basis for the development of the galaxies. As there are development of the galaxies, also there is development of the stars. And the galaxies were formed in vast differences. And these vast differences and distances were being measured in the terms of light years. Third comes the diameter of the individual galaxies. The diameter of the individual galaxies is 80,000 to 150,000 light years ahead. And also, by the accumulation of the hydrogen gas only, large cloud is formed, and those cloud has formed into galaxies, which is called the nebula. Eventually, the growing nebula. Yes, the growing nebula is considered to be the localized clumps of gases. These are considered to be the localized clumps of gases, and this clumps considered to be the denser gaseous bodies. This clumps termed to be the denser gaseous body, which is giving rise to the formation of the stars. And again comes the formation of the stars. The stars has been formed 5 to 6 billion years before. During that time, the stars have been formed, and the stars were actually being formed from the Big Bang theory, and the Big Bang theory has the important gases, the hydrogen and the helium gases. But here, the galaxies are being formed from the hydrogen gases. Now, what do you mean by a light year? Most of the students ask about the light year. You see, in the physics sense, or according to the subject of the physics, light year is a measure of distance and not of time. Light travels at a speed of 300,000 km per second. Now, in the space, if you want to measure the distance between the two planets and the two galaxies, we use a light year. A light year is a measure of distance and not of time. Also, light travels at a speed of 300,000 km per second. Now, light travels at a speed of 300,000 km per second, and this is how the light years being measured from one planet to another or between the two galaxies. I hope you have understood regarding the star formation. This is one of the important picture of the star formation, that how the star is being created. Now you see, this is nebula. The nebula is being formed from the hydrogen gas. The nebula is being formed from the hydrogen gas, and this has led to the localized clumps of hydrogen gas leading to nebula. Now, here there are two forms. This is the main sequence. These are the small stars and these are the big stars. Now here the main sequence, this is the small star being formed and this is the big star has been formed, and slowly the small star is considered or converted into a red giant, and here this star is converted into a red supergiant. The small star and the large star, one is converted into a red giant and the other one is converted into a red supergiant. And here it is then converted into a planetary nebula, and here it is the supernova. The supernova is considered to be the most brightest star in the space. And when one star is being exploded or one star is being formed into a star, it is being converted into a white dwarf. And here the supernova is considered into a black hole. Most of the stars are there who die or which is being exploded, it is being converted into a black hole. If I can give you regarding our sun, if it explodes, it will be converted into a black hole either or into a white dwarf star. Now, when there are high mass star, when the high mass star gives more energy, it is then converted into a neutron star. So these are the stages of the formation of the stars. I hope you have understood regarding this topic, and if you want to know any of the courses regarding the Bhadra Academy, then you can contact us in this number 86383 91721. Thank you.